Ash Ketchum, Pokemon champion and eternal 10-year-old. Though many fans hope someday he won't be. In fact, many hope that after this current series concludes, he will get aged up and will move on to a new protagonist. Maybe that new protagonist will be Ash's child, who's ready to start their own adventure, and Ash will be aged up to his 30s or 40s, or maybe Ash will just fade into the background and be a background or side character as a new protagonist takes over. Or maybe we're stuck with Ash forever. But assuming Ash fades into the background to a limited degree, hits some form of retirement where he's not challenging leagues himself and he's not the champion because that's just too much work. You've got to wander around like Cynthia does, we see. He could find himself as either an Elite Four member or as a gym leader. In fact, a gym leader could be a pretty good place for Ash. He could go to some town, set up a nice gym. He's more than qualified to do it, much like Blue has done it in some versions of Pokemon. No one's really going to object to that as long as he has at least 6 Pokemon of the appropriate type, and he could raise his child to the appropriate age in that town before they go off on their own adventure. Makes sense to me. That could be kind of fun. So if he did that, what types of gyms could he run? What makes sense for Ash and what makes the most sense for Ash? Well, if we look at his current team, he's running Double Dragon and he's running Double Fighting. So those are things that we might want to think about. He's also got his partner Pikachu, which is electric, and that's of course his partner Pokemon. So should we look at those 3 types? Would those make a lot of sense for him to run a gym in? Maybe, but let's look at the rest of his Pokemon. And we're pretty quickly going to see as we go through his Pokemon that he's done a pretty darn good job of picking up regional starters, be they grass, fire, or water. He's picked up a lot of them, not all of them from every single generation. Sometimes side characters have gotten them, but he's gotten a fair amount of those 3 types as well. Okay, so now we've built this out a little further. We'll continue to take another look at his Pokemon. And for this analysis, I'm not too worried about Pokemon being off in training like Primeape or Squirtle, or Pokemon officially being released, because we find that it is very easy to meet back up with released Pokemon if the writers want that to happen. It would be very easy for an Ash that's been aged up a bit in a different role to have Greninja visit again, much like he did very recently in the series. Or Lapras, maybe if he sets up a water gym on the ocean, Lapras could continue to fulfill their duty while working at the gym there. These things all seem very possible. We're going to go ahead and count those for our analysis, though we won't count some of these others that have been traded away, given away, or were never really in the team like Haunter here. Okay, so let's plug in some data. Let's plug in all of the Pokemon with their typings, and let's also consider whether or not they would be aces. Now, ace is a somewhat subjective thing, but I mostly went with, hey, he mostly had 2 aces per region, little bit of fudging the numbers here. You can yell at me for not including a Pokemon as an ace that you think I should have, or that I was too generous in the comments down below. But for his aces, I said Pikachu, Dragonite, Lucario, Charizard, Snorlax, Heracross, Swellow, Sceptile, Infernape, Crocodile, Talonflame, Lycanroc, Incineroar, Melmetal, and Greninja. Because if Ash is going to run a gym, at least one of those aces should be in play as the type, at least in higher level versions of his gym. Speaking of higher level versions of his gym, basically every Pokemon fan I deal with much prefers the generation style of Pokemon gym, where we're in a situation where, of course, every gym leader has 6 Pokemon of their type. It would be foolish of them not to. How could they possibly be a representative of the league if they don't? They just sometimes only bring out 1 or 2 of those Pokemon if their challenger has 0 to 1 badges, or they might bring out 3 or 4 of them if the challenger has more badges but doesn't have a respectable number of badges like 6 or 7 yet, something like that. And then maybe they even have a full team of 6 that's like all fully competitively viable for skirmishing with other gym leaders or Elite Four members, league defense type stuff like that. So we want to make sure that they have some non-fully evolved Pokemon, so they're not in a position where they just fully roll over someone that shows up at their gym with no badges. That doesn't work because, hey, in theory, these people can challenge in any order, at least according to how we think about it in generations, which is what most fans like. So is the answer that we just need to sort by number of Pokemon? And we can certainly do that. Make sure that there's at least one ace and take a quick look at the fully evolved versus not thing. Well, kind of. And does that mean we've answered our question with Ash as a bird keeper? Maybe. 13 Pokemon, plenty to pick from there. 4 aces, that's a really high number. I start to worry that his team might be too powerful. And then fully evolved 12 out of 13. That could be a problem. If someone shows up with no badges, is there any way for them to get past him, even if they would have been able to get past, someone like Brock, who we've, of course, seen field Geodude and Onix against people with no badges? Well, when we actually look at Ash's flying Pokemon, fortunately, the answer is yes. Ash can go ahead and pretty reasonably field a team of Rowlet plus Butterfree, and that works. Is it strong for a first gym? Yes. Yes, it is. But Butterfree is a very weak, fully evolved Pokemon. Rowlet is a first form Pokemon. That works, and it doesn't totally get cheesed either. We can take a quick look, and we can see, hey, if you want to come in here with the things that would just roll over flying type be expected to, those are going to be electric, rock, and ice. And that's potentially fine. If you do that in some ways, that's, maybe you should get your first gym for knowing your type matchups, but you don't want to just gift it to them. You want them to work for it a little bit. So ice, if you come in with ice, you know what? You can have it. No one has an ice Pokemon as their first Pokemon or two when they've got no badges. It's just not a thing. So really what we're looking at is electric and rock, and Rowlet at least only takes neutral damage against electric, takes double damage against rock, but hits back rock super effective. And then Butterfree, of course, gets crushed by rock, which is what's supposed to happen as a flying bug there, and then takes damage from the ice and electric as well. So that seems like a pretty solid team. And then if we just think about this, well, can Ash handle a harder team? Of course Ash can handle a harder team. Of course Ash could field a decent league defense team. If you want to see what a middling team or a league defense team might look like from Ash, go ahead and check out my next video linked right up there, which goes over just that. But yeah, Ash runs best as a bird keeper. That said, if you want to see other teams that Ash could run, or want to see, no, bird keeper's fine and all, but I want to see some of these other teams. Like I want to see Dragon Master Ash. He's got 6 Pokemon for that. Or Fire Ash. I want to see Infernape and Charizard come out to play. Absolutely. Let me know which gym defense team you want to see next in the comments down below. Or if you just want to yell at me for picking the wrong aces, that's fine too. I welcome those comments as well. If you're enjoying the content, drop a like. Consider subscribing for more Pokemon analysis, news, thought-provoking content like this. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks. Temporal out.